Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be showing you the much requested how to make jungle rave techno like Tommy Holohan. As usual, you can get the project file and samples and MIDI and presets. Everything from this video is available for just $5 on my Bandcamp. Link is right at the top of the description. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. And yeah, let's get started. So we're on 137 BPM. The first sound that we have here is the kick, which sounds like this. So this is a pretty standard rumble kick. You can see we have this rumble rack here. I'm going to go through this. We have a little bit of drum bass at the end. The main thing that separates this kick from other techno rumble kicks is just the type of kick that you're putting into it. If you listen to the original sample here, you can notice like it's not one of these like really clicky like just types of kicks. You know, it's a little bit softer, a little bit more like warm and just fat. And so that's what you want to go for. And the reason why is because the drum break that you're going to put over this, as you can hear, this has a lot of that like cracky high end and mid range to it. So then you want the kick to sit under that nicely. But if the kick is too clicky and it's like, you know, clashing too much with that drum break, you're going to have a real problem. So you definitely want to go for this type of sample. And if you want this one, link is right at the top of the description. After that, we have the kick going into this rumble rack here. So we've got a dry chain for the punch. And then we have the rumble chain. And so this rumble is made using reverb. What's happening here is basically we've got reverb, which goes into this amp, which you can hear makes it mono. And it also really brings out the low end in the reverb. And then we low pass it. And you get just that rumbly stuff. And then there it is. And then I just have it side chained to the dry kick and so that it doesn't get in the way. And then we have an EQ8 which is cutting at 100 Hertz and then doing a little bit of a low end boost because typically a lot of the punch in the dry kick is happening at 100 Hertz. So if you cut that in the bass, it kind of makes a bit more room. And they fit together a little better. And then after that, I just have the kick and the rumble going into this drum bus. This really helps to glue them together, you know. When you have a rumble kick like this, you can't just have it like the rumble and the kick playing side by side. It really needs to sound like one instrument. And the best way to accomplish this is by processing them both at the same time through some saturation like this. Because saturation takes anything that you put into it and just glues it together. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like if I get a saturator here and just turn this way up. So see how when I turn it up, it just becomes one, essentially, big mess? So that's what we're doing. We're doing that same thing where it's just taking the sound, squashing it all together really close, but then just to a much smaller degree. And yeah, after that we have the amen break, which sounds like this. So what's happening here is this is your classic sort of amen jungle break. And what I've done is I took this little part in the middle there. And then what's happening is we're just looping that over and over and over again. And you can see, yeah, we've just got a set like this. I've got a pitch down -1. You know, I definitely recommend playing around with the pitch of your breakbeats in the style. Even if you're not using the amen break, if you're using like the think break or, you know, whatever drum break you may want to use. Pitching it can really give you a kind of a different vibe. Because you can see if I put this at the original pitch, it's a little bit sharper. When we pitch it down, it's a bit deeper. And almost a bit fatter sounding now. And I think it blends better with the kick this way. So yeah, and then we just have a little bit of drum bass on that to beef it up. Here's without that. You can hear the difference. This is one of those things that you really have to do to like just kind of take this and make it fit into the track a little bit. Because just the dry amen break on its own isn't going to sound that good. Like, if I turn this off and I'll just turn it up. See how it's like kind of small? You're just sort of hearing it a little bit, but when we turn this on, it sits perfectly on top of the mix. So yeah, we got the drum bus, and then we just have an EQ8 here, just cutting out the low end because these do tend to have a bit of rumbling going on. It is like an old school drum break, but we want to cut that because obviously we don't want it to get in the way of the kick. We still want that rumble to come through really strong from the kick. So I've just got that cut, and then I've got a high-end boost as well, just to make it a bit sharper and a little bit more modern sounding. Here's without this. I don't know with this. You can hear the EQ is just kind of like the HD filter that brings everything out. After that, we have the stab, which is 2 layers, and it sounds like this. So yeah, what's going on here is, like I said, we have 2 layers. We have this one, and then we have this one. More of like an old school pad type of sound. But you can hear, like, if I play the first one on its own, that's the one you're really mostly hearing. But if I play this on its own, see how it's a little bit thin? But if we bring in the second one, you know, it just fills it out and gives it that extra little bit of fullness. And then for the MIDI on these, what we've got is just this really simple pattern. You can see it's just going from like B up to E, 5 notes up, and then C, and then, yeah, it's like really simple, just kind of playing around that root note mostly of the B. So yeah, again, this goes back to what I was doing with the drum break. It's like when you're trying to make this more like modern style of jungle influence stuff, you need to do a little bit to kind of beef it up and make it sound a little bit more modern. So like, maybe the old school way would be to just use this stab on its own. But then you can hear what adding this one brings in. How it really just beefs it up and fills it out. So that's what we're doing there with that. And then on both of these, for effects, I've just got a little bit of reverb. You know, pretty short. Here's without it. And then with it, gives them some space and some atmosphere. Then we have a bit of drum bus to fatten these up. And this also helps to glue them together. Here's without it. And then with it, pretty simple. Just kind of, yeah, fattening these up, pushing them together a little. And then finally, we just have a high-pass filter cutting out the line. There's without it. You can hear there's actually quite a bit of line going on. So we're just cutting that out to make some room, to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the kick. And yeah, that's it for the stabs. And then the final thing that we have down here is this little vocal stab, which sounds like this. So this is just kind of like a little, almost like a lead, you know, just something rhythmic that's adding like a little extra sort of background element over top of all the stuff. So with this one, it's just this sample. Just a little vocal stab, you know, pulled from some vocals. And then I'm just kind of going through a bandpass filter. So you can hear that's kind of bringing up this high mid-range frequency a little, making it a little bit more like rough. But it's also just sort of shaping the sound, because now it doesn't have all those low frequencies or those high frequencies. It's just in this range. And so we can kind of focus on it a little bit more in the mix. And then after that we have this echo. You can see this is on this pretty fast time. I've got it on 88 milliseconds. You know, it just gives us a little space without giving it too much. Like, it's not like dun 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 dun. It's just a quick like that. And then finally, the last thing we have on here is just a bit of drum bus, just to kind of fatten this up. This also kind of brings out the bandpass and the echo. Here's without it. And then with it. So, you know, just kind of makes it fit into the mix a little bit better. And yeah, so that is it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Let me know who you want to see me do next. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file and samples and MIDI and presets, all that stuff from this video. It's available right at the top of the description for just $5. If you guys want to support me, it's a great way to do it. I don't make a whole lot off of these videos, but these sample packs are a way where I can monetize this and keep making these videos for you guys every day without having to go get a job at McDonald's or something like that. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Link to the sample pack is in the description. And yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.